Poppy Playtime. Chapter 3's smiling critters aren't actually dead, as Ollie says. Let me explain. In Chapter 3, we are told that the smiling critters are dead by Ollie, but we know that this isn't true because we talk to Dog Day later in Chapter 3. However, the other smiling critter that we see is Catnap, which we kill later. This doesn't mean that the others aren't dead, and just means that there are more out there waiting for us in Chapter 4. The most we know about the smiling critters are from their cardboard cutouts, which are all extremely disturbing, and are actual voice lines of the real smiling critters, while they were still alive. Bubba Bubbaphant's cardboard cutout says this.
I'm Bubba Bubbaphant. Hey, I remember you. An elephant always remembers. Want to know what I remember about you?
This means that Bubba remembers us, which means that we interacted with him before, and judging by the screaming, we can assume that he was game-ended by Garfield. Next we have Kickin' Chicken, which is the most disturbing, which says,
Hey, I'm Kickin' Chicken. Want to go outside and hang out? It's looking pretty bad outside. I've never been outside before. Will you come with me? I'm scared. Here, follow me. I'll step out first.
This means that Kickin' wanted to go outside and went with an orphan or another toy, and was killed as soon as he walked outside of the factory. This could imply that the prototype wants every toy to stay inside of the factory and die inside of the factory to make sure that these experiments never happen again. After him we have Hoppy Hopscotch, who said this.
I'm Hoppy Hopscotch! Wanna try hopping to the moon with me? On three with me! 1, 2, 3! Again! 1, 2, 3! Listen, this won't stop until we make it to the moon. 1, 2... No! Don't look at your feet! None of that matters! Again! Jump!
This could mean that Hoppy was trying to help kids escape the play care and jump out of the factory, so that they could be free. But Catnap got to her before they could do anything. Next we have Bobby Bear Hug, who says this.
Hi, I'm Bobby Bear Hug. Wanna know how much I love you? I love you to the moon and back. I'm crazy about you. I'm lost without you. I've been lost a long time. Please, take me with you this time. You won't leave me, will you?
This means that Bobby knows who we are and wanted to leave with us to escape the factory, and now is most likely hiding, judging by how we don't hear her die after the voice lines end. This also means that Bobby was probably a very close friend to us, and could have given us the idea to leave before the hour of joy. After her we have Crafty Corn, which says,
Hi, I'm Crafty Corn. Can you help me with my painting? Thanks! Now, can you give me some red? More red, please. Out? But we can't be out. You're hiding more red from me. I know you are. Give it here! Now that's much better.
This means that Crafty killed an orphan or a fellow smiling critter, which is most likely Bubba, because of the smiling critter cartoon who has them painting with each other and used his blood to paint something. Crafty was also alive at least for a bit, judging by how she does not scream at the end, and also paints on the vent walls where we are chased by Huggy. Next we have Dog Day, who says this.
Dog Day says, fetch! Go! As far as you can! Why are you just standing there? You can't be here. You can't stay.
This means that Dog Day was actively trying to help orphans and employees escape the factory, so Catnap ripped off half of his body and chained him up. Next we have Pickin, who confirms which critters might be dead, because her cutout says this.
Hi there, I'm Piggy Piggy. Let's eat. Roast beef, delicious. Grilled chicken, down the hatch. Seared elephant, yum. Flayed unicorn, mmm. Still hungry. Hey, what do you say you and I be friends?
This means that picking ate Kickin', Bubba, and Crafty, or at least a part of them before they were completely killed off. And finally we have Catnap, which is just a bunch of screaming, most likely of him killing employees in the hour of joy. That's all of the cutouts of the smiling critters that we get for this chapter. So with the information that these cutouts give us, we can conclude that it seems like after the hour of joy, Kickin', Bubba, Hoppy, and Dog Day weren't too fond of Catnap or the factory and wanted to escape. This ended up getting them killed by the other toys with less sanity and eaten by Pickin'. But how did this conflict start? Well, it seems like after the hour of joy, many of the toys disagreed with the way the prototype ran things and distributed food, so they rebelled with Poppy. It seems like there is a whole story of what happened after the hour of joy that ends with Poppy in a big glass case. It seems like at first the toys were happy with their food and life until they started to run low on supplies and had to start eating each other. This caused Kickin' and maybe some other toys to go and try to escape outside, only to be greeted with death by most likely the prototype or some sort of security measure like Huggy Wuggy. This probably started an outrage among the toys and split them into factions along the factory. Poppy seems to have allied with the more sane toys like Dog Day and our Kissy Missy, while the prototype seems to have allied with the insane toys like Mom Longlegs and Daisy. This would end up in a war that would end with most of the smiling critters being killed by insane toys and Poppy being put in a box right before she sent us a letter. Speaking about insane toys, it seems like that the toys are very similar to humans in the sense that the more of their own kind that they eat, the more insane they get. When a human eats another human's brain or nervous tissue, they get kuru. Kuru is a disease that is not survivable and causes the patient with it to go insane and have uncontrollable laughter. Think like what you see in any horror movie when a person goes insane. This is what happened to Crafty and Pickin' most likely because of how they want to eat their own kind and kill their own kind more than they want to just survive like Dog Day and Bobby. However, even after all of this, we know that the only smiling critters that are alive are Pickin' and Bobby. We know that Bobby is probably hiding somewhere and feeding off of scraps, and Pickin' is probably extremely fat because of how much it eats and will be a major part in Chapter 4. Speaking about Chapter 4, from my best guess, the last living smiling critters will be trying to kill us alongside Daisy. This would be on par with other chapters because it seems like we always have one main villain and a few tinier villains spread it across the chapter to keep things interesting. We also know that the next chapter will occur in a fair-like area because of this poster, which would fit with the idea of Pickin' eating everything because of carnival food and traditions in those areas. From my guess, Pickin' was actually the one that hurt Kissy after the end of Chapter 3 and will direct us towards the fair in Chapter 4. This will most likely mean that Chapter 4 will end up with us finding Bobby, probably like how we find Dog Day, and us having to kill Pickin', like how we kill Miss Delight in Chapter 3. So with all of this, why would Ollie lie to us about the smiling critters while knowing that Dog Day was alive? Well, I think that Ollie is actually the prototype and wants us to never know what actually happened to the smiling critters and wants us to just give up hope on finding them. This is backed up by the fact that we never actually see him and neither has Poppy in a long while, meaning that whatever orphans was originally named Ollie is now probably a part of the prototype now. This would also mean that he was the one who shut off the power originally and never actually wanted us to escape, but instead wanted Catnap to kill us. This could mean that Bobby and the rest of the smiling critters might actually be still alive, and we might be able to find them after Chapter 3 in the fair. This could also mean that all of the orphans that can nap was trying to protect are dead now, and are all a part of the prototype, which would mean that everything that we are doing is in vain. This could play into a major reunion of the smiling critters, and might actually help us find out how to stop the prototype once and for all. However, with all of this, we can conclude that the smiling critters represent what little sanity the toys had left and their final means of escaping, which we know that all of those ways failed, because the prototype wants to keep them inside of the factory and make the factory forgotten by time. If you want to find out more, click here.